What's up, everybody? My name is Stephen Riley. I am joined by Brandon and Abby. What's your last name, Brandon?
Brandon Dearlove.
Brandon Dearlove and Abby
Fisher.
Fisher. Awesome. So, we're Red Meat Games. We're a small independent game studio here in the tech capital of Ontario, Kitchener. We're going to play one of our earlier games, Cube Samurai Run, for you today. Abby had some helped with the game testing for Cube Samurai 1 back when it was coming out. It is available for everyone to play on Steam, Windows Store, iOS Store, and the Google Play Store. And it's fun, so we're going to jump in here. And I'm very late in the game, so I've got a lot of things unlocked and cool armor and stuff. So Abby, what's your favorite thing about Cube Samurai Run?
When testing, it was pretty awesome to just be able to continuously run like the old times when games were just you continue until you die. I miss that.
Brandon, you played some Cube Samurai. What do you think?
Yeah, I played probably 15 minutes of it just because I got a beta key, and I have not seen a lot of the things that I'm looking at right now, actually. I was playing like the very, very beginning of it, and I'm terrible at video games, actually, so I kept dying, and I was like, okay, well, this isn't for me, I guess, but then, yeah, I didn't get the highest score. I think you're already past where I was, actually. You're, 1,100 meters now?
Yeah.
I was, 900, and I kept getting killed by one of those guys. I didn't know how to defend myself, but I see there is definitely a way to do that.
There is.
I thought it was like Amnesia, where you couldn't, attack the enemy, you just had to, get away from them.
Nope.
But, yeah, so you got some powers there.
Yeah, so
My
my
sword would
awesome.
work at all.
Yeah, me neither.
my character is I have purchased all the upgrades. I did QA for Cube Samurai when it was being ported to Steam, so I also had to get all the achievements, and so that was fun. But yeah, I have all the upgrades. So you'll notice when I drop down here, there's a fireball. That's one of the upgrades you got. And you'll see up here, there's a little 3 and a shield. You get different levels of armor, and when you get to level 3, it gives you this boost right here with the fire.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. So I picked up some rocket boots while I was boosting there.
I think my favorite thing about it, just playing it for the brief time that I did, was when you die, the ragdoll effect that...
when the enemies die, too.
Yeah, when the Cube Samurai guy, just it hits the ground and, falls off the platform.
Like that.
Yeah, exactly. That was endlessly fun. That might have been why I kept dying so much, because I was just interested in the animations, but...
So you'll notice when I died there, I could spend some of the coins that I'd been earning to keep playing, which is a change we made from the mobile game. In the mobile game, you could either choose to spend one of your gems or buy more gems with actual currency, which is our way of monetizing Cube Samurai. So you could get the high score by... you could get a higher score by paying, but we took that out on Steam, and now it's just $5 to download, and you can play forever. It's hundreds of hours of fun.
That's what they said about Skyrim.
It's true.
And then I beat it in half an hour.
It happens. Alright, so
this is not a beatable, you just keep going until you get the highest score, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. These bosses, it's so hard.
Oh, there's bosses?
So you'll notice that
oh, that's cool.
the twist we had with Cube Samurai Run is that at varying points throughout the game, these little bosses would come up. I died, so it's gone. It beat me, but I paid to keep going. So these mini bosses would come up at random encounters between levels. And so it is an endless runner, but there are essentially levels that are when the backdrop changes. That's when essentially is a level change.
Cool. I really like the way that the background moves in different stages. That's the depth of it.
Different layers.
It's just that extra secondary animation. It's just interesting. I just noticed that now.
Yeah, Cube Samurai Run's a very pretty game.
Yeah.
I like the backgrounds. Alright, Brandon, so what are you doing here at Red Meat Games?
I'm a digital artist. I just do some of the models for some of the projects that are up and coming. We can't quite divulge yet.
Not yet, but
yeah.
Is it needless to say they are extremely interesting and super exciting?
Quite. Yeah, I haven't seen anything along the lines of what we're working on right now that's out in the VR community.
Especially in the VR community, because what a lot of people don't know is VR's coming back, and it's coming back in a big way. It was definitely around in the 90s and sort of fizzled out, but we here at Red Meat are firm believers in VR and what it can do for games as a medium.
Yeah, the technology just wasn't there back when like Nintendo tried to do that virtual reality thing back in the day.
The Virtual Boy.
Is that what it was called?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the Game Boy, but
Yeah, I think you guys posted something about that on
we did,
LinkedIn.
yeah.
But yeah, no. Now that we have the technology, we've got the Oculus Rift, the HTC Vive, and it's just a good platform for what we're trying to do with this next project.
So Abby, what do you do here at the studio?
I am a 3D artist mainly, but occasionally I will be a generalist, which means I do some animating and just other odd jobs to make sure everything gets done. Mostly, though, it's just the modeling and the animating. It's a lot of fun.
It is. It's a good job.
I'm definitely willing to take some of that animation as well.
Go ahead, take it.
Yeah. The animation for this looks like it would have been really fun to do. Just the run cycle for him. Yeah.
He's hopping along here.
And that's a 3D model put into like a 2D space essentially.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool.
And they fly up and down.
Yeah. It's got some really depth to him too. And I know one of our other digital artists is working on trying to get an action figure version of it.
Oh yeah,
3D
one of
print.
our artist Vince. He's actually working on mapping QB. Is what we call him. He's gonna map QB so we can 3D print him and take him around and use him in our social media posts. So that's gonna be exciting. So you see on this screen here, you can actually purchase boosts using the coins you earn while running. So I just bought a bunch here. So you got that initial 1,000 meter boost.
Oh my god.
Yeah, gotta go
kinda
fast.
Like, what was that game called? Temple Run.
Temple Run, yeah, Temple Run was a hit. iOS Endless Runner, whereas instead of I guess landscape, it was more over the shoulder. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it was like a portrait, third person.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Better,
over the
you can
shoulder.
actually stick up for yourself. In Temple Run, it's just run.
Yeah, you just gotta run away from
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah, that game, I did play it a bit in high school, but I didn't get the whole hype. Like, there's people playing it constantly.
And Temple Run 2 came out. I remember that was a big deal.
That
Yeah.
one was worse.
A bunch of my friends were into it.
Yeah, it's the sequel, right? It's never as good as the first one.
All right, Abby, so what projects are you working on right now?
I am working on both Bring to Light and our First Impact game.
Talk to us about First Impact.
First Impact is our superhero VR game, which is fantastic. You're basically going to play as a superhero defending your city, town, village, whichever you want to use as the proper term. And you'll have elemental powers, and it's fantastic. It's first person. You'll see everything through your own point of view. Can't say too much more.
Some of people who've been following our Twitch endeavors have seen we've previously shown off the flight mechanics in First Impact using our mixed reality streaming. We did that in our green screen room. We don't have the equipment for that today, so we thought we'd throw back to Cube Samurai, which actually just came out on Steam last month, so it's not so much a throwback. But it did launch on iOS in like 2014, 2015. Brandon, what are your thoughts on First Impact?
Well, my one thing that it was actually my first experience with VR at all. Like, I'd never put on a VR headset before trying that out, which is crazy actually. I got I have a big fear of heights, so I hit the button to fly, which was you'd be amazed how much the VR thing actually tricks your brain into thinking you're actually in the air, even though you're standing on solid ground. But my favorite thing by far about First Impact was that you can throw cars.
Throwing cars
that's
is cool.
my favorite. I don't know. In any game, that would be my favorite thing, regardless. But
it feels like
being
you're
able
the
to do
Hulk.
it with a controller and throwing it at enemies is just so enjoying.
We had a kid, we went to Niagara Falls Comic Con and we were demoing First Impact, and this kid put it on and started to fly and just fell backwards,
Oh
my god.
and I caught him and we were talking to him and we were like, what happened? He's like, oh, I started to fly and I forgot I had legs. And I was like, oh, all right.
Yeah, I can see how that could happen.
There are some health and safety issues with VR, mainly that you're completely oblivious to everything happening in the world.
Or unfortunately, you can be like me, giving you motion sickness.
Oh yeah, that's a big one for me too.
Ugh.
Yeah, motion sickness is a tough one.
Luckily, with a couple of the new systems, they're a lot better though, and you can get around it. getting used to it that really helps.
If you have a history of motion sickness with like roller coasters or 3D movies, you'll definitely get that with.
Yeah, I don't
3D
get
movies.
that. I don't get it with 3D movies
3D
or
movies
anything
are in
like
my
that.
head.
It's literally just VR where I started getting it, and I was like, what is this?
I get it with 3D movies because I think I'm wearing 2 glasses at once, and so after like an hour, I just have a headache.
I get it with everything, so
That
Yeah.
sucks.
Is this the Twitch?
Yeah, Lewis, welcome. This is Red Meat Plays on Twitch. We're showcasing Cube Samurai Run. Lewis here. Lewis, step into the frame here.
It'll show up soon.
So Lewis here is our musician extraordinaire from Montreal.
Hey,
Oh yeah.
Lewis, tell us about your work.
right now I'm composing tunes for the puzzle game Bloxic.
Bloxic is our, or actually more Blot Interactives, who we work with as Red Meat Games. Bloxic is Blots. That was a hard thing to say.
Especially when you're playing Cube Samurai Run.
It is.
Gotta focus.
It's a spatial puzzle solving game where you rotate sort of a 3D Rubik's Cube to line up more spaces of the same color, and then you eliminate them and work your way through the layers to get to the bottom and solve the puzzle. It's really cool, and it looks absolutely gorgeous in VR. And so, yeah, we're excited to bring that to the Vive soon-ish with
Fantastic.
all new music from Lewis. I heard some of it yesterday. I loved it. That's great.
Pretty
Lewis,
happy with it so far.
have you played Cube Samurai?
Not yet.
It's good. It just came to Steam. You should check it out.
Sweet. I'll go download it.
I'm not kidding. It's so much. It's addicting.
Yeah, it's fun. I have the high score in the world if you want to try and beat
Oh,
that.
do you?
Yeah.
Alright, challenge accepted.
I played forever on the testing. I still couldn't beat so many levels, but I thought I was doing fantastic.
Is that it right there? 552,000?
55,000,
Oh, 55,000.
yeah.
Alright.
I think Derek, our
God.
one of our programmers, his was 22,000. So he can try his best, but he'll never.
There were so
Gotcha.
many puzzles where I was just like, I can't do this. It's not right. There's gotta be something wrong.
For Bloxic?
Yeah, and he'd just be like, nope, there's a way.
Oh yeah.
Do it again.
There was this one where it wants you to do 2 chains in a row, and
Yeah.
I could not understand it. Like I just couldn't wrap my brain around it. And then Derek just showed me how to do it on the iPad, and I'm just like, oh my god, it was
Was
the
it the
biggest
bomb
face
one?
palm moment.
Where like you have to do it and you have like 8 moves or else it blows up.
I think it wasn't even that far. I don't think I got that far into it. There was this one where it wanted you to do like finish the level by putting 2 colors together. Like you know, I have to put 2
Yeah.
and then 2 and then make 4. So it wanted you to do 8 all at the same time, and then I did that, and it still told me that I didn't get it, and then it just turned out that I wasn't understanding what it was asking me. But yeah, Derek helped me with that one.
I can never beat that boss. I keep dying and I feel really bad. Oh.
The Bloxic was the one game like when when I first started here, they had us play through all of the intellectual properties of Red Meat Games, and I was playing Bloxic for the longest time. Like that was the one thing that got me. I was like sitting there like, and everybody had gone back to work, and I'm sitting there still playing it. Like the iPad actually died on me before I had to give it back.
Bloxic's definitely, I'd say, the prettiest game that we have, although First Impact is very early and it's definitely going to be there, but as
It's
far
in
as...
there. It's got a lot of beautiful textures.
Oh yeah,
Aesthetically, honestly, I want to say this game is my favorite for like
it's so
the
simple.
graphical components. Like, just the design of like, for instance, this scene right here with
The gears and the...
yeah, like and
background
the
town.
city there with just the way that those buildings are laid out, like that is just appealing.
Remember though, you're comparing a completed game to a non-completed game.
It's true.
That's true. Yeah.
Completed First Impact is going to be awesome. It's only 4 months into development, but what we're showing at Montreal Comic Con and Niagara Falls Comic Con, people tell us looks absolutely great, and as for games they've played in VR, is definitely one of the prettiest ones, which is really encouraging to hear. We
It's,
go ahead.
it's more advanced than a lot of the stuff that I'd seen in virtual reality before I had come to work at Red Meat. A lot of the stuff I had seen, like especially at like Taffy, the Toronto Animation Film Festival, I had seen some games that were very what's the word, rudimentary, very basic.
Yeah.
They're very blocky, and I was wondering like why they couldn't push that a little bit further. And I think First Impact, from what I've seen, has done a pretty good job of doing that.
not everyone has the budget we have.
That's true. Yeah.
Well, there's also the rarity of like our game is basically sandbox. I wouldn't say completely sandbox, but almost a sandbox game for VR, which is very rare. Normally, you're confined to a certain amount of space because
The draw distance.
Yeah.
It's very taxing on the game engine, which is something I didn't understand prior to actually coming here because I didn't have any experience in Unity. But now that I've had like a crash course in that, that makes perfect sense. And like keeping the poly count down in digital assets is can be a chore because you just want to like put that extra little bit of detail in it, but when you put it down the pipeline, it can cause some issues. So you got to be very wary of everything that's coming ahead of what you're doing.
Games are really hard.
Yeah, they're very complicated. I would say more so than doing like if you're gonna work on a commercial, because you got like all these extra factors to worry about.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just render it and then composite, and then you're good. It's a lot of other stuff.
A
And, like,
lot of
keeping-
things can break a lot of other things.
Yeah. Like when we were testing First Impact, there's an issue with the enemies that would just keep flying up into the sky once they got killed, which was actually so entertaining for me because it just reminded me of like the Skyrim giants when they like hit
Yeah,
you
and they
and
hit
go
you,
flying
you
into
just
space.
fly straight up. That was the best.
some of the
Yeah,
best
that's
parts
awesome.
about creating a game. You get to watch all the little bugs and errors that no one else will see.
Yeah, that's true.
Doing some QA on Cube Samurai, I definitely found some bugs that aren't in the final game, thankfully.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I did that a couple of times.
We'll be testing Bloxic, and I hope to find lovely bugs that we can get, and so that the final game is absolutely flawless.
That's a hard one. From what I've tested a Bloxic, it's kind of hard to break it.
I'll find a way.
You'll find a way.
Somebody will.
It's true, yeah. If I don't.
I was always really good at doing that with our other game, Wits in Warfare.
Wits in
found
Warfare is
so
excellent.
many bugs.
That's one I haven't had the chance to play yet, actually.
I wouldn't know how to Twitch stream Wits in Warfare. I don't know how to capture it from a phone, but that'll be interesting. It's also a hard one to do a shorter stream on because it takes a lot to
Yeah.
get set up. There's a lot of tutorials and a lot of stuff to do. So you'll notice the background changed in between levels there.
Yeah, actually, that like I just noticed that as you were saying that.
So that's kind of... I want to find one of these bosses and beat it, because this is
Wasn't it usually on this level?
absolutely embarrassing. Yeah, it's usually on the second transition.
All I can say it's a good thing it's not me playing. We would be
Get like
back at
5 feet and then you're done.
I'd get 2,000 meters, probably, maybe. Are there any like
There it
Easter
is.
eggs, maybe,
Oh, yeah.
like things that have been put into the game that are just like, like hidden that most people wouldn't see?
There is a bonus for getting certain sets of armor. So I have the Barbarian set now, and if you get the Barbarian set, then you get a bonus armor when you start. If you get different sets of clothing, so like we have like a top hat and a cane and a suit, and if you get all that together, you get the villain bonus.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, because all villains have top hats and canes.
Oh,
Here
of
we
course.
go! Boom! There. Destruction. We've defeated the boss and saved the Cube Samurai world from the evil Pyramid Men. Awesome. Well, I think that's about all that we have for today. I want to thank Brandon and Abby for joining me. I'm Steven. We are Red Meat Games on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. At Red Meat Plays on Twitch, but you're here, so you already know that. We'll be back next Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Don't know what we'll be playing, but it's going to be awesome, and we're going to have cool people here to talk about it. So thank you so much for tuning in, and have a great day. Bye.